Right there, guys. So I'm sure you've all seen the Twitter headlines on what has come out of Tom Werner's mouth. Tom Werner, whatever you call him, the FSG executive, about Liverpool and potentially playing games in America and wherever all over the world. As you can tell, like my demeanor, like I am pissed. I can say that now. It's over so many seconds. I'm fucking fuming, guys. I'm not even joking. Like, I know I've seen some on there saying that John W. Henry said these comments and he didn't. Like, if you look further down the article, John actually turns around and says that he doesn't advocate for this at all. And what I'm going to do, guys, and you know what? I might even get a strike on my channel for this because don't think I'm supposed to be doing this. But with something like this, you all need to see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read up until the bit where it stops about what Henry has to say and everything like that. But and I'm going to share it with you, basically, just so you can see it for yourselves, right? So, here we go, guys. So, it goes on to say here that Liverpool is more than a football club to many of its supporters. For years, it was the most successful team in England. By 2010, the club was at risk of falling into administration until Henry's ownership resurrected it. His lieutenant and FSG co-owner Mike Gordon was seconded to the northwest of England. The choice of the inspirational German head coach Jurgen Klopp was a masterstroke, but there have been missteps, such as the failed attempt to trademark the word Liverpool. Has anyone forgot about that? Initially, John Henry left unanswered all of my questions about Liverpool, including what lessons he had learnt from the debacle. Despite his apology and the ferocity of the backlash, most people believe a European Super League is an idea that will happen one day. But Werner, the FSG chair, is clearly not out of other ambitious ideas. These are the quotes for Tom. I'm determined one day to have a Premier League game be played in New York City, he said. I even have the sort of crazy idea that there would be a day where we play one in Tokyo, a few hours later one in Los Angeles, a few hours later Rio, and then one game a few hours later in Riyadh, making it a sort of day where the Premier League is celebrated. Like, are these guys like they just don't get it? Like, maybe I'm being a bit hypocritical here because I've gotten into the NFL of late, right? You can probably see one of the pictures up there, OBJ with his famous catch, right? And I support the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got 2 games over here this season. I'm off to both games, Wembley and Tottenham. And I'm sure their fans back over in Jacksonville are not impressed by the fact that 2 of their games are played overseas. You know, like, they only play like 17 games a season, guys. And when 2 of them are overseas, they only have 15 back home. Which is, by the by, you guys aren't bothered by that, right? You aren't bothered by that. But what my point is they're trying to do a very American thing with the English game. Anyway, this article goes on to say, he acknowledged the idea had at least one significant knot: the local fans. So you got, the local fans, the guys that go to the stadium all the time. Like, I can't even go to the stadium. Like, I can't even get a ticket nowadays. It's so hard to get tickets nowadays. But the guys that go to the games all the time, you are just basically put here as a significant knot. Local fans of the clubs who wouldn't be able to support their teams at their home stadium. Let's figure out a way to offer them very cheap travel and accommodation so that if Liverpool is playing Nottingham Forest, we will support fans coming to New York and make this an attractive thing for the fans as well. Which, again, that's fine. But how cheap are you making it? Like, if you were to go to a game in Liverpool, right? Let's say, you're from where I am, Yorkshire, right? You get a train, you maybe stay over the night, you pay for the ticket. So you may be looking at what? £200-300. Maybe I'm overestimating it there. So now you're on about, obviously, accommodation, travel to New York. Is that going to be double that? Is that going to be the same price? Like, what exactly is cheap in this situation? Do you know what I mean? Right, goes on to say that Werner said it wasn't the FSG's executives' fault they were smarter than anyone else in exploring such ideas. Goes on to say that it's a very competitive business. I think 20 years ago there was a lot more low-hanging fruit, where a Theo Epstein could find success in an avenue that other people weren't looking at. But sports is now a big business, right? Teams in the NBA are going for $4 billion. I don't think we have any secure secret source, is what I'm trying to say. John Henry eventually responded to my pressing on Liverpool. He made it clear that Werner's plans for a New York game were not something that I advocate or I am particularly interested in. FSG's more immediate task has been the handling of Klopp's January announcement that he would step down at the end of the season after almost a decade in charge. In May, a day after Klopp's emotional farewell, Arne Slot was confirmed as his successor. Oh, so I was just about to ask the question, has John W. Henry said anything about Jurgen Klopp? Here we go, guys. It's here. He's actually said something about Jurgen Klopp, but there's another paragraph before I get to that. So he goes on to say here, will he be Henry's final head coach at Liverpool? In late 2022, it was revealed that FSG was exploring a sale of the club, while Henry officially called it off 3 months later. The process resulted in a minor investment by the emerging sport-focused private equity firm Dynasty, valuing Liverpool at more than $5 billion. Still, fans sensed ambivalent? I don't know what the hell that says there. Don't know what that says. So here's the quotes for Henry about Klopp. Henry paid tribute to Klopp's simply magical tenure at the club over emails. The force of his personality and emotion lifted us all who support the club to a level I've not seen before anywhere, he wrote to me. I decided to ask him point blank, would you ever sell the Red Sox, Liverpool, or the Penguins? And he said, my wife and I live and work in Boston. We are committed to the city and the region, so the Sox are not going to come up for sale. We genuinely don't sell assets. So he didn't say no there about Liverpool, guys. So Liverpool could still be up for sale for all we know after them comments. Do you know what I mean? He never says anything, that guy, does he? Anyway, guys, I could proper go off on a tangent here, but I've already been here for 7 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this video off here. Put your comments down below what you think on all of this. Games in America. Henry finally saying two sentences about Jurgen Klopp without saying anything else. But, you know, there was no problems going on with Klopp and Jurgen. And I said Klopp and Jurgen. Between Klopp and Henry at the end of the tenure there. And there's nothing that happened behind the scenes that forced Jurgen to leave. But the owner of the fucking club can only turn around and say 2 lines about the man. Whatever you say, guys. Anyway, put a comment down below what you think on all this, guys. And I'll catch you in the next one.